Space, the last frontier of power. And now Earth's oldest battle, politics, has invaded orbit. Donald Trump just dropped a bombshell. He's relocating the headquarters of U.S. Space Command from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama.
And I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City.
Years of planning, billions of dollars, even a Biden-era decision overturned in an instant. On the surface, it looks like nothing more than moving offices. One base here, another base there, but we're not talking desks and addresses. This is about the nerve center of America's space defense, the command that oversees satellites, missile warning systems, and the future of warfare beyond Earth's atmosphere. And the sudden move has rattled allies, angered critics, and injected raw politics into a place it doesn't belong: the stars. So why Huntsville? Huntsville isn't random. It's the so-called Rocket City. It's home to NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, Redstone Arsenal, and a dense network of aerospace contractors that help build America's first rockets. To Trump's allies, that makes it the natural home for Space Command. To his critics, it looks more like payback, punishing blue Colorado and rewarding deep red Alabama. Trump even hinted at Colorado's mail-in voting system, branding it corrupt as one reason for the move.
Colorado, the problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting, so they have automatically crooked elections.
Alabama lawmakers, meanwhile, celebrated, calling it a rightful correction and a massive economic win.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama. This move will save the taxpayers $480 million.
Colorado officials countered with warnings. Relocating could cost billions, delay readiness for years, and weaken America's defense at a critical moment.
The 2 to 3 or more billion dollars, why would we want to expend this kind of money to move a command that is fully operational in Colorado Springs?
This fight isn't just about jobs, it's about survival. Space Command is responsible for defending America's satellites, the silent infrastructure that powers everything from GPS to banking to military targeting. A single disabled satellite could cause blackouts, cripple communications, or blind U.S. missile defense. Here's the kicker. The U.S. military depends on satellites for over 90% of its communications, and it's not alone. Civilian life is just as vulnerable. Farmers rely on satellites for GPS-guided tractors, airlines for navigation, financial markets for timing trades. Without satellites, the world doesn't just slow down, it stops, and rivals know it.
The United States has raised new concerns about China's fast-growing military activity in space.
China is taking modern warfare to the next level, even beyond the Earth, and we are talking space combat.
China has already tested satellite killers, weapons designed to destroy satellites in orbit. In 2007, Beijing blew up one of its own weather satellites with a missile, scattering thousands of pieces of debris through orbit. Russia, too, has tested anti-satellite weapons and deployed Inspector satellites that can sneak up on U.S. systems. Colorado officials warn that disrupting Space Command during this dangerous moment is like tearing down the walls of a fortress while the enemy gathers outside. And it's not just America watching. Allies are paying close attention. NATO partners rely on U.S. satellites for missile defense and intelligence sharing. Japan and Australia are tying their own defense systems into U.S. networks. If Washington moves Space Command for political reasons, what message does that send? That security in orbit can be reshuffled like pieces on a chessboard? For adversaries like Moscow and Beijing, that perception matters. They'll read it as an opening, an opportunity to test America's defenses, probe for weaknesses, or push more aggressively into orbit, while Washington is distracted. Trump's defenders insist this is a strategic upgrade. Huntsville, they argue, has deeper infrastructure, a larger aerospace workforce, and the ability to expand faster than Colorado Springs. They say short-term turbulence is worth long-term gains.
So we know the economic impact is going to be tremendous.
Critics see it differently. Political payback dressed up as national security. But beneath the partisan fight is one truth. America's future wars may be decided in space. And the headquarters that runs those wars just got caught in Earth's oldest battlefield, politics. Think this is all theoretical? Think again. In 2021, Russia fired a missile that shattered a satellite into 1,500 pieces of debris, forcing astronauts on the International Space Station to shelter in capsules. China is developing a space plane capable of carrying weapons in orbit. Even private companies are targets. SpaceX's Starlink satellites have been jammed and attacked by Russian electronic warfare in Ukraine. This isn't science fiction. It's happening now, and U.S. Space Command is the shield. What comes next? Colorado is already preparing legal challenges, citing billions already invested and the risks of weakening America's orbital defenses. Alabama, meanwhile, is preparing for a windfall, thousands of jobs, billions in contracts, and the prestige of hosting the command at the heart of America's military frontier. In the long term, the move could reshape how the world views U.S. leadership in space. Allies may question America's reliability. Rivals may push harder. Betting political turbulence equals operational weakness. And ordinary Americans may start asking why the battlefield of tomorrow is being decided by the politics of today. So here's the haunting question. Is Trump securing America's dominance in space or putting it at risk? Because when politics take control of the cosmos, history doesn't call it strategy. It's a gamble. And this is one gamble the world can't afford to lose. Subscribe for more turning points and power plays they don't want you to see inside Room 45, because what they're not telling you might be the most important part of the story.